Hi, welcome back to Saturdays at Derek's. I'm Mike.
Spoiler alert. Fish Mooney is dead. Abe Agoda lives on. That's right, I'm so old, I got fucking Barney Miller references.
No, that was good. I liked it. It was funny. So, this week, what do we got on deck?
Well, the season finales.
I just made a sporting reference. See?
You're gonna be one of the cool kids yet.
I could hang out with the jocks, yes.
Well, recently we finally watched the season finales of the DC shows. We got a little bit behind because we've been a little bit busy.
Well, okay, a little bit busy, but mostly it's just that I hate trying to figure out when they're actually airing episodes on the backside of a season.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 1 week on, 3 weeks off really pisses me off. So this year I just kind of gave up on it until I knew the shows were done, and then just, cleared some time on the docket to just watch.
But we saved them up, and we finally got through them all, and they were pretty good. Well, let's talk about those first.
All right. Well, Arrow being the veteran show.
Arrow almost seemed like a series finale more than a season finale.
It did. I mean, they literally rode off into the sunset. He and Felicity at the end of the show.
Yeah. It was kind of...
I don't know. I almost wonder if it's going to be one of those Buffy the Vampire Slayer things where, like, they make up an excuse for why they've been gone over the summer months.
Yeah.
Like this season, Buffy got all upset and ran off to L.A. and became a waitress. And then she came back, 4 months later, just in time for the start of the new season.
Well, Stephen Amell has been on record saying that he is no longer Arrow. And that he will no longer wear the Arrow hood. I don't know what that means.
Because the character has changed again. Well, because there was all the talk in that last episode that he's become something else again. And they were like going over, well, you were Oliver Queen and then you were the Arrow, but now you're this completely different thing.
Here's what I think
they're talking about like that?
I'm hoping he wears a Robin Hood outfit. Because that would be funny.
The goatee and the stash and everything?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be cool from a Arrow, Green Arrow fanboy point of view.
Right. And they made Speedy Arsenal.
Yeah. But then decided to still call her Speedy.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It wasn't my favorite of the season finales.
Yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it, but the end was like weirdly Hollywood.
Yeah, and they kind of ruined one of the cliffhangers because the Palmer Tower blows up as he's doing the miniaturization thing.
Oh, yep.
And we already know he survives it because he's in a new show.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit and Flash makes an entrance.
Do you think the new show is why they had him basically give Palmer Industries to Felicity?
It could be.
As an excuse for him not being on Arrow?
But then they ended up not doing it because Felicity went off with Oliver. So who knows? Maybe they're just going to... Arrow's going to take a couple of seasons hiatus and let the new show kind of take its place. But who knows for sure?
No, nobody's going to stop the momentum of a popular show like that. I think Stephen Amell was just talking about his character changing.
Yeah, and it could just be that he was building up the tension of what was going to happen.
But he didn't say, I'm quitting the show.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just that whole thing that they were going on and on and on about with his whole personality thing. You're not Oliver and you're not the Arrow. Maybe this is their lead up to him being Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Maybe this is them finally... Because it feels like they're trying to come a little more in line with comic book lore.
Yeah.
So, Flash.
Flash was cool. Ended on a true cliffhanger.
Yeah. Far more interesting ending to the season finale episode.
Yeah. I almost feel bad for like almost all the characters. It was almost an Empire Strikes Back style ending.
Yeah, there's a lot of gloomy shit going on.
Yeah, we won't go too much into it in case you haven't seen it, but
You should probably see it.
yeah. But it was a very interesting and very cool season finale.
No, absolutely. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going with some spoilers. Barry gets back and sees his mom die, and gets the opportunity to say goodbye and let her know that he's okay, but still letting her die in order that he actually become the Flash and still have all the life experiences that it took to lead him up to that point. And his older self going, don't fucking do it.
Well, I think this might have been a trick. I think this might have been not Wells, but whoever his actual alter ego is.
Yeah,
Theobald
Thawne.
Trying to stop Flash by actually creating Flash so that he would go back.
That he'd be able to go back in time
and
then
himself.
Tricking Barry into going back in time to save his mom so that he wouldn't become the Flash. And then Thawne would never have to deal with his arch nemesis. Yeah. No, that was it, but it really led to a lot of heart-wrenching soul searching in the episode. I mean, there was a lot of great character development.
Oh, and the helmet coming out of the temporal gateway.
Yeah. The original
Silver
Age or was it Golden Age? I think it's Golden Age Flash. The guy in the red sweater with the steel helmet with the wings on it. The steel helmet with the wings on it comes popping out of this temporal wormhole that they created.
Yeah.
And it was a cool kind of moment.
Yeah. The Flash finale was freaking awesome.
Yeah. And Barry figuring out that he had gotten screwed by Thawne and coming through the gateway and just drilling him while he's sitting in the bubble was fucking great.
Yeah.
That was a very satisfying moment.
Yeah. This whole season was actually pretty interesting. Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah. Oh God, and then Eddie.
Eddie
killing himself in order to wipe out the existence of Reverse Flash was cool, especially since I called it like 10 minutes before.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely some self-fulfilling prophecy stuff going on.
Yeah.
And just all in all, a kind of interesting end to an interesting season. I mean, again, I don't really have that many complaints about Flash other than the fact that it kind of got into the cycle of villain of the week cycle.
Yeah, but again, I'm not going to cast that as a negative because they needed to introduce villains. They needed to introduce a nice broad cast of villains for Barry and buddies to take on. Yeah, going forward, and Captain Cold was especially integral in that last episode.
And I don't care what anybody says. I like Captain Cold. I always thought he was an interesting design for a character.
Yeah, just walking around in a park in the middle of July kind of like fucks with my logic circuits.
Yeah, but it cracks me up. How about finding out Cisco has superpowers?
Yeah, although they were kind of vague about that.
Yeah, so we don't know.
So I think next season there's going to be some interesting development for Cisco.
If he's going to get his actual comic book superpowers, or if he's going to get something different.
Yeah, no, his power is to name other super beings.
No, he's very good at it.
Yeah, they're just going to call him the Sorting Hat.
The
Namer.
And then we got Gotham.
Yes. Glad to see the season finale of Gotham.
Yeah.
Fish Mooney's dead and Penguin's the fucking man.
Yeah, well, Fish Mooney is dead. They threw her in water, which in human life would
But didn't they also
actually
say she wasn't going to be back for next season?
They did, but God only knows.
They could be lying. It's possible, but who knows? But they definitely killed Maroni.
Yeah.
There's no fucking question about that. It's, when a little bit of brain comes squirting out the new hole in the back of your head, you're not back for next season.
Yeah. Nah, it was another pretty decent finale. Barbara now Gordon, but Barbara, whatever her last name is.
Jim's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, she's crazy as shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And
tried to kill Leslie Tompkins.
Sure.
Is it? Yes.
There's too many names in this show. Oh, and Ed Nigma's a bit crazy now too.
Yeah. No, a lot of bit crazy.
You see the Riddler personality starting to kind of step out a little bit more, and the Ed Nigma personality stepping back a little bit.
Yeah, the compulsion to leave clues. And the fact that he's actually killed somebody now.
Yeah.
He's not just the weird guy in the office. He gutted a dude.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And Miss Kringle is kind of on to him a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. Because maybe I don't know my Batman lore well enough, but she's got one of those names that just suggests that she's going to be wearing a fucking costume at some point in the future. Yeah. I'm just not 100% on if...
Probably Christmas themed.
Yeah, in all likelihood. Because isn't her first name Christina?
Sure.
Okay.
Or she's gonna
I'm
grow
glad
a beard.
you're helpful. Yeah. She's like, super costumey stuff or sideshow?
But yeah, all in all, the DC finale seemed okay. Were pretty good.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed with the Arrow finale, but completely satisfied with Flash and mostly satisfied with Gotham.
Yeah, and it's not like Arrow didn't give us anything to go with, because Thea is the Red Arrow / Speedy / Arsenal / pick a fucking name now, and
Shadowcat, Sprite,
and her dad. I'm suddenly blanking. Merlin. Malcolm Merlin is now in charge of the League.
Oh yeah, he's now Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, so
kind of out of technicality.
That's going to be interesting setup. It'll be I'm curious to find out what happens with that.
But yeah, all in all, I'm pretty satisfied. One more thing we wanted to talk about was a trailer has dropped for next season's, or this fall's coming up, Muppets TV show.
Yes. I'm interested. I'm definitely on board. It was kind of weird that they made the statement that it's a Muppet Show for adults. Because if you remember the original Muppet Show, that was for adults. There were two levels to the original Muppet Show. There was the kids level, and then there were the adult jokes that they slid over the top of that kids missed, but adults went,
Well, that's kind of a thing for children's TV shows. That's when you know it's going to be a good kids TV show, is when they put stuff in there for the adults to enjoy.
Yeah.
So that the adults don't have to sit there and watch stupid kids shows and go, oh my God, why am I watching this?
Right.
Why did you have to be born, you little shit?
Yeah, no, I give you Invader Zim. And the comic is coming.
Yes.
But I don't want to get off track. It looks like a good show. It looks like it's pretty clever.
I like the approach that they're using for like a reality TV show.
Muppets on 30 Rock.
Yeah, it's almost like a reality TV show, but it's the Muppets.
Yeah.
And Miss Piggy's being kind of.
Go ahead, you can say it.
Bitchy.
I'm a bitch.
But that's Miss Piggy, so you kind of expect it from her.
Right. She's the diva.
And then, but she ends up getting jealous.
Yeah.
For Kermit.
Yeah. Oh, true. I guess the one thing that bums me out about this is that Dan's not going to get to see it.
Yeah. I think Dan would have really been.
Yeah, our brother Dan loved the Muppets. He was a Kermit fanatic. So it's kind of sad because I think he would have really dug this.
I'm glad to see Kermit's actually kind of in charge of it again.
Yeah.
Which was the biggest disappointment from the last Muppets reboot. And that they had the weird looking fish guy. in charge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of stuff to look forward to as far as this goes. If it's done right, and from what I've seen from the trailer, it looks like it's really done right.
Yeah, it does. It looked clever for the most part. I mean, it's wait and see.
Yeah,
I'm very hopeful, but they could fuck it up.
Yeah, we were hopeful.
It's possible that we've just seen all the good parts.
Yeah, we were hopeful last time, and they kind of screwed us.
Right.
But the movies did pretty well. The first one,
Yeah.
at least. The second one was kind of, but the first one was really cool.
Yeah, the one with Jason Segel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one Dan did get to see.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wow, 2 minutes left. Mike Huckabee's still a crazy fuck. I'm sure people are aware of this, but was it the show 19 Kids and Counting?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
One of those crappy reality show type shows.
I want to say his name's James Duggar.
Yeah.
Duggar, I'm not sure how to pronounce. I don't watch the show.
Anyway, he was touching kids.
But yeah, he's a toucher. Apparently, he molested 4 of his sisters and some other girl. And Mike Huckabee, wanting to make his presidential bid, has come out in favor of child molestation. He came out, publicly defended the guy.
As long as it's between a boy and a girl, I think he's okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's between
God
two
forbid
boys,
if it's gay, then they should burn in hell.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You're trying to convince people to vote you in to be the most powerful man in the country, theoretically. And this seems like a wise move.
Well, apparently he's really hanging on that child molester demographic.